Warning. It is the opinion of the 4th Street Productions LLC and the Working Perspectives podcast that we should inform you that some of the language used in this recording could possibly be considered offensive. You have been warned, so if you decide to listen to the recording, then don't complain about the language. Okay, guys, here's the deal. When we initially recorded this episode, Bella had a fight scheduled for April 8th of 2023. That fight has been rescheduled. She has something up in the works. We are unable to announce that fight at this time, but what you want to do is follow Bella on all her social media platforms so that you'll be able to be there when she makes the big announcement of her next fight. And trust me, it's a big announcement. But other than that, everything else is great. Enjoy the show. Have fun. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye. Hi, hello, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to talk to some real people about some real things, living real lives, doing real stuff. This is the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle. I'll come today by jdub, Justin Richardson, and our guest today is the one and the only Arabella Del Busso. In case you're wondering, you can find all our stuff and all our content on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can have us on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can join us on the Twitter and the TikTok at Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workperspectives@gmail.com. And please like and subscribe so we keep bringing you this sweet, sweet content. Jalen Dub, how we doing? Bay.
I'm excited.
I'm fucking hyped. Speaking of being fucking hyped, this is the Working Perspectives podcast. Let's get this thing started. Let's go.
It's our objective to be effective by voicing societies. Working perspective, exploring your day and how you get paid. Launching a new episode every Tuesday. Your day can transform while we inform with new episodes available on every platform. So check out our vibe and how we get live. Then do us a solid. Share and subscribe. Would you share it? Would you share it? Would you share it? Working Perspectives.
All right. On the show today, we are traveling across the globe. It's Wednesday. It's the day next day.
It's the future.
We are recording this in the future. On the show today, we have the amazing Arabella Del Busso. She was a star of SAS Australia. She's an Instagram model and celebrity boxer who is in the process of taking the world by storm. Her next fight will be April 8th, 2023, in the city of Nashville, Tennessee. Arabella, it is an honor to have you. Thanks for being here. I'm so excited to have you. But before we get started, I just have to ask, what movie do you think is better, Rocky 1 or Rocky 4?
Oh, dang, you're putting that on me already?
Oh, I'll tell you this, Arabella. I switched it up because I knew it was you, because usually we ask, what's better, Godfather Part 1 or Godfather Part 2? But because, you're a fellow pugilist, I figured I'd throw the Rocky in there. But do you have an answer?
I'd say Rocky 1.
Rocky 1 is correct. Justin?
I mean, I do love 4. 4 is like my favorite.
4 is so good.
But for so many reasons like that aren't like, I just love it. He fights the machines. Yeah.
Oh, it's the best. Rocky 4 is great. Rocky 1's the best though. It's what started it.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Godfather?
I actually haven't. When you mentioned that, I was like, The Godfather.
Yeah.
And I'm in the future too, so I should be onto this.
It's funny. You know what? It's funny you mentioned
cool.
that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I love it. But okay.
A whole day ahead.
Yeah, seriously. You've already woken up in like
insane.
7 p.m. here, and it's what
11 a.m.
11 a.m. where you are? Your
That's
day's almost
fun.
over.
Hey, on hump day too, mind you. So happy
Man,
hump
yo.
day, guys.
Oh, I mean,
Damn.
hopefully.
That's awesome.
So, okay.
I know. I'm waiting for the Super Bowl. We gotta wait till she's gonna see the Super Bowl.
Oh
a
my
whole
God, do you
12
know
hours
what?
before us.
I do want to. That's one thing I
You
do want
gotta
to do.
call
is,
me and let me know who wins that way, and then I'll bet on it.
oh,
and
you
then
can.
obviously we'll know who wins.
Perfect. And then we'll just go halves, right?
Right.
Yeah, we'll split it.
Sure.
Obviously.
Perfect. Awesome.
But what were you gonna say, Arabella, about the Super Bowl?
I've always wanted to go. Do you know what? I've actually had friends that just specifically obviously fly over there for the Super Bowl. Like it must be like insane. Halftime. Look, there's a dream, and that'll be like the Queen bee in halftime at Super Bowl. What more could you want? Come on.
That is,
Rihanna is this year, right?
yeah, I think it's. I mean,
I think it's Rihanna this year, right?
I heard something
is it?
where,
Okay.
yeah,
I believe so.
she's the halftime show, I believe. But I heard something somewhere where, like, if you wanted to advertise during the Super Bowl, I think it's like 300 million for like 2 minutes or something like that.
No, it's
That's insane.
I think it's up to 9 million now for a
9
30-second
million
ad.
Wow.
For 30-second ad.
Mhm.
9 million. So for 2 minutes, that'd be
Jeez.
like
I could be
$36 million. Wow.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. I mean, if everyone got, 9 million for 30 seconds, I mean, Justin would be a trillionaire by now. But so okay, Arabella, you're in, like we said, I guess we haven't said, you're in the lovely country / continent of Australia right now.
I am.
What city are you in, if you're comfortable to say?
I'm in Melbourne.
Okay.
The most livable city.
That's what we've heard. That's what we've heard in our research.
It's actually quite a vibe here. Not bad. One thing, actually is good is our coffees. We have amazing coffee, very cultural. Restaurants are just insane. So yeah, it is a vibe, definitely.
Oh, from I'll tell you one thing, from a lot of comedians and everyone, they love visiting Australia. They say everyone there is awesome, loves to party, loves to have a good time. And everyone's just no one's out to be like a jerk. Everyone's just out to have fun and do the thing. You know what I mean? Like I think everyone completely agrees with you. It's it's the vibe. You're right. 100% the vibe. But in Australia, so in America, we have these things called Cheetos. Do they have those in Australia?
Cheetos, what are they?
They're like, oh man, it's like a snack, right? And it's like a little orange, like cheese doodle kind of thing.
Cheese doodle, cheese puff.
Cheese puff. No, is it like a corn dog? I've had one of those.
Oh no,
corn dog's a hot dog on a stick. They're like it's like a bag of chips, but they're like
I can't.
Orange.
I mean, you know what? It's honestly
lost in translation.
For everyone listening that doesn't see this, if you saw, when you see Arabella, you'll 100% know that she hasn't gone near a Cheeto in her goddamn life. I'll tell you that right now. All right, looking at her, we could easily tell Cheetos are not on the diet, but. Okay, but what about this? Pancakes or waffles? Which one do you like better?
Oh, do you know what? Waffles, 100%.
Batting 1,000, Arabella. Waffles are the way to go. Justin's an idiot, and he thinks pancakes are better, but he's wrong.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, he can't be on our side now.
No, you're not. You're not our friend anymore, Justin.
He's cut. Yeah.
All right. Well, what about the next question? Beatles or Stone?
Ooh, I'd say Beatles.
Wow.
Yeah,
she's back on the team.
Yeah.
So Beatles are good, but I mean, when we've had people on here before, everyone likes the Beatles. Don't get me wrong. But I think the number one thing that sways people towards the Stones is you like the Beatles when you're younger and not depressed, but then when you start drinking beer and doing all that stuff,
it's all of a sudden,
yeah, the Stones make so much more sense.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I like waffles, but at the end of the day, if I had to pick one, I would go pancakes.
Yeah.
But really, I just find the texture of a pancake. I can't do it. Even though, isn't it the same mixture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. Just one's put in an iron and one's put on a pan.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's the texture of it. I just can't. And I don't do maple syrup. Ugh, no.
Wow. What did you just do? Just butter?
Not because I don't eat pancakes. So my waffle is like.
What do you put on the waffle? What are you just going raw? Just raw waffle?
Hey, my waffles are bomb. I
Oh,
put
you
like
do?
a bit of icing sugar. I put some like chocolate, some
Ooh.
strawberries, a bit of ice cream, and
Okay.
Okay.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
your waffles aren't naked, you know. You're
I
not
thought
gonna make
you
your
were just
waffles.
eating plain waffles. I was like, all right.
It's not just like eating like toast with Vegemite on it or something like that, you know?
You
Have
know-
you ever tasted Vegemite?
I haven't.
So I did want to
Oh.
ask about this because I mean, obviously we've all heard the song, you know, Down Under, and they talk about a Vegemite sandwich and all this stuff. And I was fascinated by that as a kid because I had no idea what Vegemite is. But
It's so interesting. It's such a it's got a distinct flavor to it, and it's like kind of like salty. But with that, right? So it's not like a Nutella where you spread that shit on for like days.
yeah.
You can only do like the lightest spread, and you either hate it or you
A
love
little
it.
bit
Like
goes
there's
a
no
long
in
way.
between.
It's
100%. Like that shit lasts me years in the fridge.
But what does
Man.
it go on most commonly?
Like
just a little bit on a
toast?
sandwich or toast by
Toast,
itself?
sandwich, or crumpets. Do you guys have crumpets?
I mean, I've had them, but not extensively. No, I'm not a crumpet
Yeah, so
connoisseur by any
You
means.
gotta
Little
make
miss-
sure like the butter is like really melted, and then put like a slight smear of Vegemite on. Hey, but when I come over, I'll
Yeah.
definitely bring you an Australian care package, and I'll
Ooh.
make sure some Vegemites in
I
there.
need some.
Love
I wanna
it.
try some
When
Vegemite.
you're here for your fight on April 8th in Nashville, you know what you should try is chicken and waffles if you haven't had that yet.
Chicken and waffles.
You haven't had
Wow.
you haven't heard of chicken and waffles?
No.
Oh,
No.
when you go to
Good for-
Nashville, yeah, you're gonna be surrounded by chicken and waffles. Big.
You're gonna have to
I'm
do
gonna
it
be
after
I'm gonna
the
be
win.
weighing in at heavyweight.
Yeah.
Right, but this is
yeah, yeah,
we're talking food, and it's already going to my hips, baby.
yeah. This is gonna be definitely a post-fight meal.
This is
for
post
sure.
victory. You'll
Oh.
then be
Wow.
able to feast.
Yeah.
You know, I'll tell you this story real quick. So I had a fight. This was years ago, but I was 14 pounds over 2 days before the fight, right? And I
Wow.
cut the weight, and I made weight, right? But immediately after weigh-in, I ate an entire box of what are called Crustables, which is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich without the crust. And I ate an entire box of those, and it was a huge mistake. I feel like maybe nutrition has been more prevalent with you, but yeah, I'm just saying. What do you have, like a post-fight meal that you love?
Do you know what? I love pasta.
Oh,
So
same.
obviously, like, how good is it?
It's like
Pasta
penne
is
vodka
just something-
Oh my god!
Gonna
I
say,
like
what kind of sauce?
pappardelle
Okay.
with like a Napoli sauce. I only like the red sauce,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Napoli sauce. I can't do creams, but
Yeah.
that's
Oh.
like a go-to for me.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
could, if I could, I would live on pasta.
Same. It's the taste, the consistency, and then just the variety
So
you can
many
get with it.
shapes.
It's the best. Pasta's
Yeah.
incredible. Yeah. All right. So, I mean, we've been talking a lot about food. Okay. Last food question. When it comes to eating wings, are you drums or are you flat?
Well, but I don't even eat either. I love the breast.
Like,
I think
good
this is
answer.
another.
Nobody said that.
No, yeah. I mean, to be fair, we're all big
I-
fans of breast. You
do
know.
they have is chicken wings a thing down in Australia?
Oh, well, chicken wings is, but not as big as in America. The thing is
Yeah.
with me is like, if I have to actually visit, I'm like showing you with my hands now. Like if I
Yeah,
have
that
to
is
put
how it
something in
is.
my mouth, if I have to put something in my mouth, chew it, and then bring it out, it's not for me.
Yeah. What goes?
Once it
if
goes
it-
in, it's not
yeah.
coming out.
So one-way
That's
street,
right.
one-way street here. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So, okay. Those were our questions for now, but let's keep talking. So real quick, like we said, I want to say this again, April 8th, Nashville. Will this one be on Triller also?
Yeah, I think it'll be on some sort of like live stream.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether it may be on, is it DNZ? Maybe.
Ooh,
Don't quote me, but maybe.
DAZN?
Yeah. The Zone. That's the
DAZN.
one.
Yeah. Oh,
The thing
nice.
is,
Yeah.
you'll be
So-
able to either way. You'll be able to find the info on your Instagram.
Yeah.
Yes,
And-
definitely. So once everything is finalized, I'll start obviously putting things up on my Instagram and tickets. And also I'm going to start doing some merch. So which will be
Ooh.
pretty cool.
Love it.
I'm
Very
excited
nice.
about. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. So for everyone listening, we'll have a link to Bella's Instagram in the description of this episode. Really highly suggest checking it out. I mean, it is a great follow. I will tell you right now. Big fan, big fan of following it. But no, and then you can stay up to date with Arabella and everything Bella and everything she's got going on in the fight coming up in April. Super excited for this. And you're on the undercard of. Do you know what the headliner is for this fight?
Not this one. I'm not too sure who will be obviously the undercard, but the main event. But I do know that obviously winning this fight, they're going to put me May UK under KSI's undercard.
Oh wow!
So that is like amazing. Yeah.
I honestly,
so just need to obviously get through this one first, which I think should be a walk in the park.
Hell yeah. You kidding? You Australians are incredible athletes. Tell you that
where
right
was
now.
where was your first fight at?
Here in Melbourne.
What
yeah.
Was it arena? Was it underground? Was it
no? So I was just with all the kangaroos.
Tell
was it a parking garage?
Bella, tell us about the entrance to this fight, Justin. Wait till you get a load of this. Her entrance,
see that entrance.
But I mean, isn't that?
It was insane.
Yeah, he was excited about it. He's like, I was gonna have him tell me about it. I was like, she'll tell you. I was like,
yeah. So I decided. So not only did I obviously weigh in lingerie.
Yeah.
And then I decided, you know what? My entrance, I came out to Cardi B and I came out on a throne. So I had 3 guys holding me. They carried me out. I was wearing a crown. I was like, damn, girl, you got this.
This is all. They're like, do you have any special requests? And you'd be like, I'd like to be carried to the ring.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This time, obviously Nashville, I'm like contemplating, like, should I come out on a white horse? Can you imagine?
I mean,
a white horse, guys.
Yeah.
Like, I'm already vibing this. Like, I feel like I do need to go get some horse lessons.
Yeah.
Just in case. But I'm here for it. Just start, trotting into the ring.
It'd be even better if you got the same 3 guys that carried your litter and then put them in a horse costume and then rode those guys. Because that would be just, that'd
be even better. Or, you know what? I could come down I thought also to have a throne because there is a throne in Nashville for the Queen.
Love it.
And come down from the roof.
Ooh.
And into the ring.
Wow.
In the chair?
In the chair.
Lowered in the chair. Man.
Yeah.
Not unlike Apollo Creed.
I do
Rocky
like the
IV.
horse idea. The only thing is you got to work. Yeah, you definitely got to practice because you got to work on your dismount and your. I've never ridden a horse, but they're gigantic.
Oh my God, they're huge.
Yeah, and I think like getting dismount. On and off. Yeah.
That's it. Do you ever get worried about that?
I don't want to. But I don't want no fucking crazy motherfucking horse. Like,
yeah. This horse is going to be heavily sedated.
Yeah, you need a horse that can withstand the crowd.
Yeah, you need a horse with a ketamine addiction is what you need.
The same thing with getting through those ropes, The first time you're going through in front of 60,000 people, you're like, I'm gonna somehow just get tangled in these ropes.
Oh man.
I always wanted to like kind of do. I've seen like boxers do it before, and they like jump over. I'm like, no, my luck. I jump over, face plant. It's like done.
And then the fight's over. You're like, I'm just going home. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I've already lost. I would like to do the run-in and like the belly slide, like on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That would be.
It's hard with fake implants.
That's probably
those bad boys are pop. I can't have that. They're like my main asset, guys.
Yeah, you're already putting them through enough that night. You're not going to make it any worse.
How about
they get a good workout, so we're gonna keep it like that.
Nice. So like we said, Bella's Instagram will be in the description. A link will be in the description of this episode. Check it out. Really great follow. And then also April 8th in Nashville. She's coming here to take over America before she goes and takes over the UK. It's going to be great. But I want to do a little backtracking, and we're going to go start from the beginning. So, Bella, it says here that you were born in New South Wales. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. So I was born in a small country town in New South Wales in Sydney. Okay. So it's just obviously a little bit further up from where I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I was obviously born there. my father passed away at a young age when I was 6.
Sorry to hear that.
So that's okay. So yeah, I was kind of like, I guess, you know, it was just myself and my mum. And then my mum kind of got a new partner, and they had 3 kids themselves. And I guess, you know, it's kind of you wish that you had that good childhood, that good life of like that family life. But unfortunately for myself, that kind of didn't happen for me. So the stepfather was a drug dealer. So I grew up around like a lot of drugs and moving from house to house, state to state. So during, I guess, school years, like my primary school years, I went through like obviously a lot of primary schools. And then doing my high schooling years, so there was, so my mom and her partner had 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. And so whilst I guess so we ended up moving back and forth from New South Wales to Victoria, Melbourne, where I am. And then they kind of, I guess they went missing for many of time, like all the time. So I kind of had to have that, I guess, I had to step up. And
did you take like the surrogate? You're like the mom role at times because
I was like the mom. That's
so tough.
And I was like, you know what? I couldn't leave these kids, you know, in the circumstances that we were in. It's just like, this is horrible, you know. And I didn't come from anything fancy, to be honest. Like I grew up in a beaten down weatherboard home, you know, so in a small country town. So nothing was kind of luxurious for me. I was obviously doing my HSC, looking after 3 kids, and I had to go work a job at it's called La Porchetta's, which is like an Italian restaurant. To like get money. So because my mom wanted money for rent. So it was like, you know, I had to do all this kind of stuff. It was hard. It wasn't easy. But you kind of, I think I look back at it now and I'm like, I'm glad that like that did happen in the aspect of, because it puts into perspective life now. So I think it's amazing what you can put your mind to. So despite what happens in your life, sometimes you can't dwell on it. You know, and it doesn't define you as a person. If anything, it just makes you stronger. So
man, that I'll tell you, that is tough. So your your dad passed when you were really young, and then your mom got remarried to this guy who, I mean, you know, for all intents and purposes, doesn't sound like the best male role model. And so how old were you? Like, you know, I've been around. I mean, me and Justin, everyone's been around. You know, the drug scene and things like that, and people go missing, like you're saying. How old were you when they would go missing, and then you're kind of left with, okay, well, these kids need to eat. They need to, you know, maybe have a blanket and stuff, you know, like you got to check on them, make sure you're good. How old would you say when that kind of started happening?
So I was 16 at that age. So, and then I obviously had to cook. I had to learn how to cook, clean, do readers. I was doing school readers for the kids. I obviously didn't have a license, so I was taking them to school. I'd leave my school early to go pick them up so we can go home. I'd bath them, shower. And then, you know, once I put them to bed, it was like, that was my time to study. Because I was like, you know, I'm still doing schooling. You know, it was my important, well, that year it was year 11. So then I went to my HSC year 12, and that's when I was 17. Because I fall into that period where it's like I didn't turn 18 until the following year.
So you were like a little older for your grade.
Okay.
So when you're going through, I mean, and I don't mean to harp on this if you don't want to talk about it, but this, I think, is something a lot of people don't see when they look at you, right? Like they see you, they see this doll, this princess, you know, like, look at her, she's beautiful, but like that's a tough story, right? And you have parents that are addicted to drugs, and you have 3 younger siblings that they're only half related to you in a way because, you know, different dads. And you're made to take the parental role in the house at a young age, and really how, like, the mental toughness you have to get, because it really just becomes, okay, this has to be done and someone has to do it, and and I have no choice but to do it. Otherwise, these kids are going to suffer. Or I don't know if they have foster care like they do here, or the kids will be taken into foster care and taken by the state. So you really did have to
That's a
step
good
up
point.
and do that. That's, I mean, good on you. That's an incredible.
Yeah.
Are you still close with your
Thank you.
siblings?
Yeah, so look, once I left home at 18,
Yeah.
obviously because like I wanted to leave earlier, but like because my mom and I we didn't get along. It just wasn't working, and I was like, you know
It's
what, I
tough. Yeah.
genuinely can't do this anymore. Like
Yeah.
I'm not their mom, but I'm doing the best that I can. But now it's like it's time for me to get a life.
Yeah.
And I too could have went down that path of, going and doing drugs and whatever
Yeah.
the case may be.
Yeah.
But I knew what was right from wrong and I'd seen it firsthand. And I was
Yeah.
just like, I want to sleep at night knowing that like I can sleep peacefully, not with one
Yeah.
eye open.
Yeah.
It's not something, I remember one time the kids had actually had they had friends over in the living area and it was like 2 a.m. and there was this massive big bang on our door and I was like, geez, this is crazy. And my half brother had opened the door and a man had come through our house with a sledgehammer looking for the stepfather. And he jumped out of the bedroom window and just ran and left us there with this man. Like it was nuts. I was like, what the hell is going on? And so I grabbed all these kids. So because my half brother had friends over, so I grabbed them all and ran to one of the rooms and just hid everyone under the bed.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you do, in that
Yeah.
kind of circumstance? Like it was
Oh
fucking
my
nuts. Like
God.
it was just crazy.
That is the last time those kids slept over your house. I'll tell you that.
Oh.
Wow.
I was like, poor kids, they're probably traumatized still to this
I mean,
day.
Everyone would be traumatized to that. Have you ever had a break-in, Justin?
How was the sleepover, honey? Oh, it was good. We had some crumpets. We were playing video games. Oh, and then a man broke in with a sledgehammer,
and it wasn't Triple H. Yeah. Man.
But other than that, no, I
What?
never had.
It was nuts.
Yeah, I've never.
I have had men show up to my parents' house looking for my father.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It happens. What are you gonna do?
Exactly.
Yeah, my dad was the one that would
100%.
show up with the sledgehammer. So, you get both sides. But no, I'm kidding. He would show up with a gun. But either way.
See, that's one thing with you guys is like you're allowed like guns. It's legalized, which I always like being over in America was so scary because like
everyone's got a
in
gun.
the aspect of, well, you don't know who's got a gun, do you really?
True.
So it was like, fuck, if someone like tries to like take my shit, I just gotta let them do it. I'm like, because you just don't know.
I'll tell you the thing with my thought with the guns is like I have a gun, right? But also I have a family I have to protect. That's my job, right? And it's my gun is really a home defense weapon, right? I don't carry like I mean if I ever bring anything outside the house with me, like at some like so someone told me this that scared the shit out of me, and I started doing this recently. I started carrying a knife just because someone had told me about like what people do is they'll take adopted dogs from the city from Philadelphia and they're like shithouse dogs and they'll bring them to where my area and they'll raise them as adopted dogs and they've been known to attack people and kids. So I just started bringing it up because like if a fucking dog comes at my kid, I'm gonna kill it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
100%. Exactly.
You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And I carry I have like these knuckles that I like to carry. But either than that, I mean, I'm not, and it's all. And
I keep a couple grenades in my sock.
I was like, he sounds like a full gangster.
Nothing major, and like I have a full Kevlar and body armor, like nothing. A major, and then also I have 4 security guards and a top.
Right,
that's not.
Yeah.
For the kid, that's not for me.
Yeah, it's all for the kid. I could care less.
I take care of myself
barely. No, but no, I'll tell you, you became like you really absorbed the role of like mom, sister, teacher, parent, disciplinarian. Like you had to take that at a young age, and I'll tell you, it's really. Like one, it gives you a sense of accomplishment that, hey, I'm able to do this. And I know that mentally shit's going to get tough, but if I mentally say I can do it and I do, and I know I can do it when the shit hits the fan, like I'll tell you, that's one thing that not a lot of people get. When the shit hits the fan, right? When it's fucking time to go and it's time to rock, and can you step up and do it? It's not a lot of people can say they've done that, and that's something you can say you've done at a young age. And honestly, I think you can see that continue now into your hustle, right? Like, mentally, like, I can get in the ring with this bitch and knock her out. I can do this. I can do that. Like, you can have big aspirations because you can have that self-belief where, if you put your mind to it, you can get things done. That's an incredible thing. And it's almost, I know it sucks that you had to learn it that way, but I mean, to take any good away from that scenario, that's the blessing in disguise you get. Would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%, exactly. Like, I think to myself, like, I can't, like, I'm, what am I, 32? Oh, I'm 33 tomorrow.
You're 22, 23. Yeah. Get out of town.
So I know, right? Don't look a day over 20.
No, I mean, yeah, there's no filter. There's no filter on this record. I mean, no. I mean, I would have not guessed that. So good on you. But
so
okay.
I just think,
when's your birthday? Did you say?
The 9th of February, so tomorrow.
Oh,
well, for me, tomorrow.
It's 2 days for us.
Oh my God. Man.
I know, right?
So this is great. Well, happy birthday. Justin sings the best birthday song.
Oh, okay. I look forward to that.
Maybe if this goes well,
Can we cheers to it?
I'm just kidding. I know how to sing happy birthday.
To celebrate it early.
I'll tell you, that is something. My wife is European, and in her culture, they do not celebrate birthdays early because it is bad luck. But also, I can sing happy birthday in 3 languages, so suck on that, Justin.
That's impressive. What languages?
I can sing it in English, obviously, Italian, and Albanian.
Oh, wow.
I know. I'm a cultured individual, so hey.
Wow, that's amazing. I think it's so important to obviously be able to speak different languages. Like, I can do obviously German, a little bit of Italian as well, and also sign language. So I can sign for the hearing impaired.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Would
you go to school for the sign language?
So I did a diploma in Auslan.
Wow,
that's a gig that pays well. Sign.
You ever see the ones who do it for like rap concerts or like shows on the side stage?
Yeah, love it.
They'll do like Kendrick Lamar show,
The best is I remember Aziz Ansari had a bit where he would talk about the sign, like the person who did sign language at a show, because he'll say something like, and you took the cock and smacked him in the face, and the guy has to sign like doing that, and there's like a delayed laugh, and I was just like, that's fucking hilarious. But so wait, did you just learn sign language, Bella, or?
So sign language was in school, so as a we call it a low tier, so it's like a language that you can learn. So you could do like Italian, German, Spanish, Japanese. But we had 5 hearing impaired students in our class, so we obviously had to learn to be able to communicate with them. Wow. So it was something that I obviously like took on, and I did that through like my high schooling years, and then I decided like once I finished my HSC, then I obviously went and got a diploma in Auslan, so I can like interpret. I can go to like doctor's appointments or like on the news, things like that. It's pretty cool.
That is cool.
But it's like it's something like people don't really would know, because like I guess Instagram, I for me it's more just like I'm putting on like my modeling or boxing, so no one really unless you actually know me, then you wouldn't know that, like that kind of,
man, that would be a great insight. That would be a great for your Instagram. It would be a great reel if you signed like see me or check me out at my fight on April 8th. Like, that'd be really cool.
Silent.
Yeah, if you did it like silent and had like the letters.
Can I do it in lingerie as well? Like,
oh my god, that would be a 20 million viewer. You kidding me?
Did you see the lady who was so she was doing it for I think like a county, and she would do it at all the press conferences, and she was completely making it up. Had no idea how to do it because it pays well. Like, you get paid good for doing it. And she was full blown.
And she was just like, but she was like full going hard at it. Like,
it looked real to me.
Dude, she had to get some shit right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A clock's right twice a day.
Yeah. Even a blind squirrel gets a nut, my man. But what? So, Justin, I want to talk about this. We spoke about this on a previous episode. What Justin calls cum gutters, and I don't know if you saw, but Bella here. I mean, I'm not trying to be crass,
the
but
V
you know the V on the abs. You know, you got those, and they are called. Justin calls them cum gutters,
on dudes, not
on dudes.
The reference is to. It's not funny if you have to explain it, but the reference is to
explain.
Yeah. So, all right. So, speaking of cum gutters, let's keep moving. So like you said, you know, after your home life and everything, and you know, we found this too when we've dealt with like. You know, like I mean, I don't know what they say beautiful women, but we found like if it's a beautiful woman from a small town, she wants to get up and get on and has big aspirations. At least the ones that we've dealt with, like Alexis Fox and Adrena Winters and D Siren and people like that. But they wanted to get out of a small town because they knew their worth and wanted to go out and do their thing. So you're 18, right? And you kind of are like, hey, I need to start doing things for me and living my life and getting things going. So did you leave your small town? And then if yes, where'd you go?
Yeah, so obviously I was 18, left home, and I had finished my HSC, so I got a really good enter score, surprisingly enough.
I'm not surprised by that.
I was like, so I decided to so it's called like a gap year. And I got an AFL traineeship, so for 2 years. So it was just like a traineeship with our Australian Football League that we have here in Melbourne. So I was lucky enough. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like it
Football
was insane.
Is in soccer?
So our like
rugby,
not soccer.
right?
It's not rugby either. It's
Australian,
but like
Australian rules football. Yeah, that shit's fucking nuts.
So it's insane.
Is that basically it's like helmetless football?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah,
do they wear like those padded helmets kind of?
I remember there was like this guy from Texas that he was like this 6'8" guy from Texas. He was like a US guy. He had played like basketball or something and ended up going to Australia and like doing really well.
Cox.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was like this big guy.
He's massive. Yeah. And I was like, damn, like he's like, but he plays really good.
Yeah.
And now he just became an Australian citizen. Like, and now, obviously plays football here.
I mean, you know, if you get in where you can fit in, but man, so you're 18 and like, look, I tell you this, when I was 18, I was like bartending at restaurants. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, hey, I'm going to shoot for the moon. And you work for like you're looking for like the NFL in Australia, which is huge. So what were you doing when you were there?
Yeah. So I was doing, so a lot of like the outdoor stuff. So I'd like organize like all the uniforms and do all like that, a lot of the admin and stuff like that. Yeah. So for me, it was kind of like, I guess, because I was getting into uni, I obviously needed an income, and it wasn't much at all. Like, because it was obviously a traineeship. So I think it was only like $600 a week, which was like next to nothing. But I was like, you know what? I either live in a miserable situation or I remove myself from that and obviously try and gain something from it. So I was just like, so I did that for 2 years. And then I obviously got into uni. So I studied to become a midwife. Surprise.
Whoa. Okay. So for all those uncultured swines, for all those uncultured swines listening to this, when you say uni, you mean university, right? So yeah, we got a bunch of idiots around here. Don't sweat it.
Okay. Yeah.
But real quick, before we get into that, it is time for everyone's favorite segment. It's time for jdub's questions, asking some questions. jdub's questions, a new favorite segment. jdub's questions segment. So Bella, Justin here is going to ask you some questions. You're going to give us some answers. It's going to be great. Jdub, take it away.
Aren't you glad you didn't agree to let him sing for your?
What?
I know, but I actually just felt like dancing. I was like, hey.
I mean,
maybe
you know,
does
a bit of a rhythm to it. Like, woo.
I mean, you know, I can tear the house down. What do you?
I do have that question. So let's say for your intro to your next fight, if you could have any artist like come out like with you and sing whatever song like live, you know how like sometimes like 50 Cent or Lil Wayne will come out.
Yeah.
With Floyd.
Yeah.
Who would you have?
Do you know what? I actually thought about this, and I would love like Cardi B to come out. Bodak Yellow.
Dude, I like Cardi B.
Love her.
Yeah, I actually, I was like, damn, how can I even just slide into a DM? Look, she'll probably never read it, but like
Please.
a queen to another queen, you
Right.
know, like
I think she lives in
Surely.
Atlanta.
They got to.
how good would that be?
We have a saying here called game recognize game, right? So you got game, she recognized that game. You know what I'm saying? She'll see what you got going on. What song by Cardi B?
Bodak Yellow.
Of course. What other song? When I was fighting, you'll have to look up this song, but it's fucking badass. But my interest music when I was fighting, it was God's Gonna Cut You Down by Johnny Cash. And I'm not religious or anything. Johnny Cash is the fucking man. But I'm not religious or anything, but the song, the beginning of it has like this bass beat hook that is like the hardest shit ever. So yeah, that's what I would do. And yeah, all black. And of course I came out on a dragon because I didn't have a horse. So what are you gonna do?
Came on the back of a grizzly bear.
Yeah. So sorry, Justin, go ahead.
Have you broken any bones?
Woo.
No, that's one thing I haven't done.
Knock on wood.
Knock
on wood.
So far, so good. What's your dream car?
Oh, see, I'm not a car person. Hey, like I've still got my 2012 Hyundai from 10 years ago.
Hey,
So-
if it runs, it runs.
Yeah.
I don't
10
give a
years,
shit.
100,000-mile warranty.
Listen.
That warranty just ran out last year.
But you know what? I like the Rolls Royces. I don't know what.
It's the
but
tire.
I
It's the
actually-
tire on the back. The tire on the
No,
trunk.
you know what I think it is? I think it's the lights on the roof for me.
Oh
little
my
star
god.
Yeah, I'm like,
Dude.
oh, how good is that?
Justin? What's your dream car?
If you could just put a car in my driveway tomorrow, I would like a like if money is no object and it doesn't matter, because like I couldn't afford to change the brakes on this car, but I would like a McLaren.
Oh, McLaren.
You know what I mean? Like I couldn't even
Okay.
change the oil on it.
Yeah.
A nice McLaren P1.
My thought is that eventually cars are going to be flying, and I think the closest car to be flying would probably be a Tesla. And also, I never want to get a fucking oil change ever again, so I'm going to go with a Tesla. But the most
Teslas are really big in America.
they're huge.
I was surprised.
Yeah, we have a
Oh
lot
my
of charging
God.
stations now.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
Yeah.
dude, imagine this: never having to pump gas again, never having to get an oil change again, right? And like the cars, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of shit about Tesla that I'm liking, but I have a Honda Accord. So what are you gonna do? You know? So all right, Justin, keep going.
All right, so you're in Australia. Tell me about your giant bugs.
Oh, and your snakes
my
and your
God.
birds.
What have you seen?
Yeah, everything. Snakes. Like there's
How
just
big?
we have oh my god,
I-
but like snakes are fucking massive.
Spiders?
Like do you know what? I
I'm
kid
so
you not,
afraid of
any animal we have here will kill you. Like no doubt.
That's the
Like it's insane. Like
So-
it's like you go in the ocean, a shark will bite you. Or it will eat you. You know
Well,
what
you
I
have
mean?
jellyfish that are like
Dude.
10 times
Oh,
more
yeah.
potent than ours.
And those, oh my God, I've been stung by one of those. And I kid you not, my friend had to piss on my leg
That's what they
because
say, 'cause they
apparently,
have the ammonia.
yes, exactly. Yeah,
Oh
it
my
was, and it was
God.
all like wrapped around. my
Normally
leg.
you gotta pay a lot more for that, but
Yeah.
the time you know you're like
Should have
I'll
gotten an
go-
I was like, I'm the
OnlyFans or
queen.
something.
I was like, I'm the queen. I need this immediately.
Yeah. Hey, look,
Everyone
when I
bring
say
their-
piss on my leg, you piss on my
Yeah,
leg.
he
bub.
had it- oh, and it was, you know what? And it didn't even kind of cross my mind that he was urinating on my leg. I was just like, oh, well,
You're in such
like
pain. You're
it's
just like,
taking
I
the
don't
sting
care.
off.
Yeah, you're like,
exactly.
whatever works. Yeah. You're
But
like
yeah, we
giving
have
them
like,
water.
oh my God, I hate our spring. We have
What's that?
magpies. Sorry, our spring weather.
Okay.
It brings like these birds, and they're called magpies.
Are
Oh
those
my
the
God.
swooping ones that like
And they swoop you.
and try and like what do they bite? Do they just hit? Does it hurt?
They like peck you with their like beak, but like
Does
they
it hurt?
keep going for you. Yeah, it like
Why?
well, I'm assuming it would hurt, but I've never had it done to me. But it like they do some damage. Like
I've
it's
seen
horrible.
these
And you see the
videos.
people on bikes, and they're trying to like. So I always wondered, right, why people had helmets on with all these sticks hanging out. Like you guys are fucking weird. Like,
But it's for the
but that
magpie?
makes sense. Yeah.
So these
Yeah,
birds
to
are like
keep them-
vicious. They just like swoop the top of your head. They'll like skim by and then fly away.
Yeah.
And they'll keep
Well,
coming
not
back.
even. Sometimes
with
they
these
keep
little
coming back
kids.
for you. Yeah.
I've
What?
seen these videos, but they don't like stop.
It's
They kind of
crazy.
just like they get real close.
like-
but
Yeah.
they just to like I guess they're
Mm.
predatorial.
Oh
Yeah,
my
and I think
God.
I don't know whether it's kind of like their breeding season, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know why they do it, but yeah, it's insane. It's horrible.
There was this guy. He was a biker, a bicyclist somewhere in Australia. He was a mad dog, and people would like shout at him and stuff. He was a drunk, and then also there was a video of him being like assaulted by those magpies, and like I don't know. I was like,
know,
what are
it's
these
horrible.
birds?
Woof.
Yeah, even like kangaroos, they're beautiful,
That's
but
what's-
they're
have
like
you
so
seen them?
dangerous.
Have you seen a kangaroo?
Dude, I saw a
I
picture of a
fed-
kangaroo
I
that
fed
looked like it
them,
was
they're
on
like-
juice.
Oh, Joe, I've got a pet kangaroo. Do you want me to get it? No, I'm joking.
What?
Oh, I got so excited. Don't do that. That's not fair. Do you have a
She was
koala?
like, hey, you want to be, you want us to, you confirm a Australian stereotype that everyone has a pet kangaroo? Yeah, that doesn't happen. So, okay, sorry. Wow, we just got burned real fucking hard on that, though.
Every night
right
I
now.
crawl into my kangaroo pouch and I sleep like a baby.
I've seen,
Legit,
yeah,
so good.
yeah, I've seen some of the pictures of the kangaroos though. They're fucking yoked. I mean, like,
Yeah, but do you know what? Some of them are so big and they're like so vicious too. They can hurt you. But also too, if you're driving like down the country, you have to be so careful because they just come out of nowhere and you can hit them.
Yeah, we have deer, same concept.
Oh,
like they run
yeah,
on roads,
okay.
but I can't imagine a
Yeah.
full-grown kangaroo.
Yeah, they're massive.
man,
Yeah, so big. And
Like
wombats, we have like massive big wombats as
How
well.
many kangaroos have you
Echidnas.
seen? Like,
Oh,
a bunch?
heaps. Especially like down the
Heaps?
country, like
Oh,
heaps.
it's like deer.
Everywhere.
Like we have deer in Pennsylvania. Like it's very common to see
Yeah.
deer, especially in the suburbs.
Yeah.
yeah,
And now as developments are popping up, the deer are being pushed into smaller areas, yada yada. So I assume
Yeah.
maybe the same thing with kangaroos. Like I don't know if they're starting to develop outside the city limits. Or your kangaroos are getting pushed into roadways, and now you see a
Well, I
dead
think,
kangaroo on the side of the road.
Well, we see a lot of those, which is really sad. At the
Ugh.
same time, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
it's not nice. But that's more of like outside of the city.
Yeah.
But we had really bad bushfires, which was really like bad for us. And it's kind of like
Wow.
every year, but more so like it's our summertime. So this time of year, like our weather starts to get our what would it be? So our like last week, I think we had like 40 degrees, which is over your 100, like 110.
yeah.
So we
Yeah.
had like consecutive days of that, and then obviously like bushfires, and then our koalas a few years ago nearly went like extinct because of all the bushfires. So you kind of
And the
forget about that
syphilis.
oh yeah, can you
Yeah, those
believe
koalas
that?
have rampant
You can't-
syphilis.
They
What?
rampant.
You don't know about
Bad,
this?
yeah.
Koalas
they
got
do.
syphilis?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
have.
they
a
What
actually
is
special
this
unit.
country? What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah. Anything you can get, come to Australia and you'll get it. Pretty
Yeah.
much.
I mean, sounds like a blast. You know?
I'm still interested. How big are these snakes you've seen? Like, are we
Yeah.
talking?
Wow.
6
Yeah,
feet?
like massive big pythons.
Where?
Like they're
Like-
insane.
Like
so
this big?
you can get them like they're like, and they're so thick too. Like it's so scary. But a lot of those are normally like up north, up Queensland way. So,
Queens.
but
Like
yeah,
where?
not so
Like,
much
in the street? Are they coming out of the toilets? Like, are they just in the
the
middle of
toilets
road?
in. So my friend the other day posted, and he woke up. He was in Perth, out in on the mines, and he woke up with a snake in his bed. I was like, dang, I would have
No.
shit my pants.
No, I would have gone home.
Yeah,
Tag. I'm out of here. See you later.
100%.
Snake in the
Like,
toilet.
can you
Yeah.
imagine?
There's
Yes.
snakes in the toilets?
Yeah, snakes in the toilets. Yeah, it's like so crazy.
Snake in the toilet is literally one of my deepest fears since I was
Oh,
4 years old.
Bro.
Have you ever had a
No.
redback spider in the
No.
toilet?
I would have
Yeah,
immediately
that
moved away.
shit's like, yeah, that's
What?
like next level.
Whoa.
What do you do? How do you?
Whoa.
So every time you go to the bathroom, do you do a check? Like, is that just routine?
Yeah, I
for
always
Australians?
check the
You
toilet.
do like an. How do you
Dude,
check?
I can't believe I haven't been doing that. What is wrong with me?
Well, we don't
Always
have
check,
to.
even like lift up the lid. Like I'm like, yeah, okay. Especially like if I'm out like the country and stuff like that, or like further up north, like the top end of Australia as well, because they're like prone up there. Like they've just, but also too, they've got like geckos and like toad frogs and like everything. Like it's crazy.
Wow.
It's the outback.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
sounds like, I mean,
It sounds
But like
crazy.
it's
'Cause, like,
actually
Florida
beautiful.
Florida has like gators. Florida has like those little geckos and lizards you'll see all over buildings and stuff.
Yeah,
And
but they don't
don't
have
have
half the shit Australia
huntsman
has.
spiders. I mean, how?
Yeah,
how
we got crocodiles as well. Like
Yeah, crocodiles, not
are big.
alligators.
Dude, if I woke up
Yeah.
with a spider in my bed, I would burn the fucking house down.
Oh,
All right?
with a snake, like
fucking
spiders,
care.
I can deal with.
I can't deal with either.
I'm not doing
Some of
snakes.
our spiders are pretty big. Like you get like really big ones, and they're quite like dangerous. And they got like fur, you know what I mean? They got like hair and
They're just the worst looking.
I'm not gonna be able to sleep for a week. Oh my god! All right, Justin. Next question. Oh, yeah,
That's why you people were banished to that island.
yeah.
That's why you lived there, because your people were bad and you deserve to live on that.
100%. Yeah, we're badasses over here.
Yeah, that is
People are
true.
maniacs.
I mean, yeah. Shout out Ned Kelly, fan of the show, listener of the show.
All right, so what about Mad Max? You watch all the Mad Max movies, Joe?
Is Mel Gibson still a
Huh?
hero in Australia?
You don't love Mel?
Oh, he actually was. I don't know about now,
Uh,
but like
about-
I think, yeah.
Is Heath Ledger? Is he like R.I.P. the GOAT?
Oh, yeah, he was.
He was the
Yeah.
man. I loved Heath Ledger.
Mhm.
But dude, Mel, I love Mel. I know he had the whole thing with the voicemail and whatever, but I still
Yeah.
love. He's Mel Gibson.
Yeah, that whole thing.
Exactly.
Cut him
100%.
Cut him a break. He's Mel. It's Mel.
He's Mel.
Just Mel being Mel. You know. I mean, come on.
Exactly.
All right,
Matt loves
Justin,
a hot-
keep going.
Matt loves a hot salad. Do you
Son
do you
of
have
a
any
bitch.
do you have any questions for me?
Hold on, Justin. Ask her the python and gorilla question.
Oh, that's a good, yeah. So you're locked in a mall for 1 week
Yeah.
with either
Ooh,
one
okay.
gorilla or 5 cobras.
Take your
Ooh,
pick.
I'll pick a gorilla
Wow.
because I know because the gorilla would actually look after me.
Yeah.
And the issue with the cobras is, how could you sleep not knowing where all these snakes
But
are
like
around?
you
Yeah,
can
like,
hypothetically
and I-
go and hunt the cobras. You have no chance against the gorilla.
You make friends with the
None.
gorilla.
You would
Take
the
a day.
No,
gorilla.
but I mean, like
Hands.
I could cuddle him. I
How are
could
your
like
malls?
be high fiving him.
When you were a kid, did you go to like malls?
Yeah.
Do you have a
Mhm.
mall?
All right.
Do you have
Yeah.
Annie M's pretzels and do they
They're
have
not
Dairy Queen?
on fucking the moon,
I don't
Justin.
know.
They have
We don't-
malls in Australia. All
They got
right.
giant snakes in their toilets. People are up to all kinds. Their toilets flow the other way. You know that?
I did know that.
You know, they actually do. That's one thing I
Because you're below the
noticed.
equator.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
blow in the
that's
equator
crazy.
a lot. What about ask the Sigourney Weaver question?
Do you know who Sigourney Weaver is?
The actress?
No.
Ah, shit.
Mm-mm.
That
I
might
know.
not work.
What tongue of questions?
All right, then say Nicole Kidman.
Do you? Well,
Who?
who wouldn't sleep with Nicole Kidman?
I would
This
not.
kid's up
If-
to all kinds of nonsense.
you know what? I'll tell you
Nicole
this. I'll tell you
Kidman?
this. I have
I'd
a
rather sleep with Megan Fox, I think.
ooh.
Than Nicole Kidman?
Hey, wouldn't we all?
Mm.
How about it?
Yeah, you
Uh,
and MGK.
I
Yeah.
think she's looking for a girlfriend.
I mean, you
Bottom
kind
line.
of, you
Yeah, she
kind
seems
of,
the type to add one.
you
to
kind
the
of
group.
look like Megan Fox. Do you get that?
I was like, damn. I get that, but also Demi Moore.
Oh, I could see that, but your hair is
But like
young,
younger
like-
days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But like
Mm.
young Demi Moore, like freaking
Young.
ghost Demi Moore, you know, not G.I. Jane. Well, body type G.I.
Oh,
Jane
what's,
Demi.
what's
gonna
her
say,
name?
which-
That Spanish actor. That Spanish
Penelope
lady.
Cruz?
Sorry, but she, nah, you know,
Salma
she plays in Grown Ups
Is that
with
Selma
Adam
Hayek?
Sandler.
Is it Selma
Could be
Hayek?
Selma Hayek.
I think it might be
Maybe.
Selma Hayek.
That's it.
She's the
Between- yeah.
best.
Penelope
Love Selma.
Cruz, Selma Hayek. makes
Selma Hayek
sense.
is
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
ageless wonder. She's incredible.
What about Rose? What's the UFC girl? Rose Nama
Well,
Oh,
Thug
she does-
Rose.
Thug Rose. You
Yeah,
know who
Rose
that is? She
Namajunas
does the
or
shaved
whatever.
head.
Yes.
Would you ever
That's
consider it?
insane.
Yeah.
Would you do
Nah,
it?
couldn't do
You're
it.
not gonna
I
go
love
shoot-
my hair too much.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah. Nice. All right.
All right. Do you have any questions for me?
No, I don't know any questions. Yeah, I didn't prepare any.
I know. That's the
No,
point of the question.
it's all part of the segment. He asks everyone that, and no one really wants to ask Justin questions because he's not that interesting. Let's be honest.
That's fair.
All right,
The Eagles are in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Oh,
right.
do you know? Oh, I did say that. Do you know what? I went to my first ever what do you call it? Like
Football?
AFL. Yeah, football game when I was in LA. So now I went to LA Rams. I think it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rams.
So now they're like,
who they played?
No, don't know. I think maybe like, do they have like another team in LA?
Oh,
yeah, they have the Chargers, and they have the Chargers. They have San Francisco.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like the Chargers. I think maybe. But yeah, it was a vibe. So they're my team now. I've decided I went to the game, so they won. So
you're like a year. If you would have signed up, what was it last year? They won the Super Bowl, or 2 years ago?
Yeah. Last year they beat Cincinnati.
Yeah, for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, I'm a fucking genius, Justin.
Well,
that wasn't that when was it J-Lo or Beyonce?
Yes,
was doing
J-Lo
Super Bowl?
and Shakira.
J-Lo, that's right.
Who do you like better, J-Lo or Shakira?
Well, that's a great question.
J-Lo
all day.
Correct answer.
J-Lo all day.
I just feel like my all-time favorite would be Beyonce. She's like an absolute queen.
I mean, she's another queen, Shout out. Game recognized game. Queen recognized queen.
Queen on queen.
Oh, you know what I did want to say? Speaking of Nicole Kidman, I have this theory. My little brother's gay, queerer than a $3 bill, right? And when he was younger, right, we would all talk about like hot chicks, and his hot chick would be like, yeah, I love Nicole Kidman. And we were like, do you though? And, so my theory is that if a young kid questioning his sexuality says he's hot the hots for Nicole Kidman, he's a gay. And that's how it goes.
Is she a famous Australian?
Nicole Kidman?
Yeah, Nicole.
Are you fucking high right now?
Is she? I didn't know that.
She's like the queen of Australia. She's married to Keith Urban.
Nicole and Keith Urban. Yeah, that's right.
Dude, I know down under, all right? I put the shrimps on the bobbies.
Bobby.
I will say this.
What about a dingo? Have you ever seen a dingo?
The
dingo got my baby.
Maybe the dingo ate your baby.
Dude, I'll tell you, as far as accent...
that's a serious question. Have you ever seen a dingo?
What is it?
Isn't it like a wild dog?
It is. Yeah, pretty much. It's like an orange wild dog.
Ugh, yeah.
I will see all these animals. Australia sounds wild.
Yeah. Would you say?
But you know what? It's actually amazing though. Like it has so many beautiful things. Like just like even the coast, like the water.
It has one of the 8 wonders of the world as well, right? Because it doesn't have 2 of them. Crazy. It has the Great Barrier Reef and then that big red stone place.
Yeah. So the all like Ayers Rock. Yeah, which is like a sacred, big rock now. Yeah, man. It's amazing. I've traveled from like Melbourne and I went like up the middle of believe it or not, I've been camping. I know.
Whoa!
Hold your seat. I know, and it was 10 days without like makeup, like television, doing my hair, anything. But it was
you wear makeup.
It was insane. Can you believe that? I know.
I mean, naturally beautiful is what everyone says.
So, but it was amazing. Like it was so good. Like to sleep under the stars on a stretcher, and just experience, I guess, the culture as well, like our Aboriginal lands that we're obviously on. Yeah. And I guess the culture as well. So yeah, it's actually so amazing.
Yeah. No, Australia is an incredible place. Like the rich history you guys have. I know, everyone talks about the penal colony and all that bullshit, but I mean, just where you're at now, Australia is one of the greatest places to live in the world. And I'll have to say this, as far as accents go, Australia is way up there for like the hottest accents going. Justin, do you agree?
Really?
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Do you think?
Do you know what's so interesting is like, because I just feel like we don't have an accent. But when I came to America, the amount of people were like, dang, baby girl. And I was like, baby girl? Like, what's going on here? I was like, like, oh, this daddy over here likes that accent. And I was like, this daddy? Like, what's going on? Like, can someone fill me in right now? Like, You
You're
know,
like-
like it was insane. Yeah,
most
they're
people
like,
end up, they hear you talking for 5 minutes and then they start mimicking you because they can't help it. Hey,
Yeah,
how you
they
doing?
It's
Yeah.
tough.
I
Yeah.
like it. I'm having a good time too.
I remember going through customs, and it was like he'd see my passport. He's like, "Oh, you're Australian. G'day, mate." And I was like, "No, now's not the time. Please, not now."
That's too funny. I bet. Yeah. I mean, there's so many stereotypes that you probably get all the time, like shrimp on the Barbie, for instance. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
fun though. That is fun. I mean, that is one place I would love to go to is Australia. It does seem like it's so big. People don't realize Australia is huge.
Well, the middle
Yeah.
is like not.
Yeah, like you can barely live in the middle, right?
Yeah, I was
Like
gonna
it's
say,
like
there's no
Yeah.
cities in the middle, right? All the cities, the major cities, are like
They're
around
like
the
the
outside.
outskirts. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, what goes on in the
Yeah.
middle?
So
That's where the
no,
kangaroos.
it's our desert, pretty much.
wow,
Yeah. So
man.
all the kangaroos, the crocodiles, they're all vibing all together.
Yeah, they're
It's a
hanging out.
vibe out there.
Oh, it's a
Middle
total
of
vibe.
Australia vibe.
Total.
My kind of vibe.
So okay, so let's keep it moving then. So where we left off, you worked as a traineeship, kind of that we'd call them like interns over here. So you worked in a traineeship for the AFL for 2 years. You saved up enough money to go to university, aka uni, and then when you went there, you got a degree or a diploma and became a certified midwife, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, so I became, obviously a nurse and obviously a midwife.
Okay.
So yeah, and that took me.
Do you
like,
think that
5
like
years.
your past had something to do with you choosing midwife? Because you're like, you know what? I've kind of raised kids and was responsible like that, and kind of liked helping people and things like that. Because I will say this, being like a nurse and a midwife, like that's a calling. Like those people are special that do that. And you like had that, I guess you would recognize that you had that ability from your upbringing, right? Did you think maybe that's what drew you to that degree in that line of work?
Yeah, I think it was more like, I have that like soft nature to myself. So I always want to make sure that everyone else around me is obviously looked after and happy and content. So I think, I guess, it's nothing more satisfying than seeing a smile on someone's face, knowing that you have helped them, even in such like a small gesture or like, something really big. So I don't know. I think it's just that the kind of person that I am. I always like make sure everyone's good, want to help out as much people as possible. So
Oh, that's great. No, that is great. So then how long did you work at a hospital, or how did it go when you were doing that?
Yeah, so I had to do like hours first to obviously build up, and then I worked in a hospital for quite some time. So probably about so it took like 5 years to do uni. So I think it was like 3 years.
Wow.
Obviously I was working in a hospital, and then I decided to kind of transition, and I worked in an IVF clinic.
What is what's an IVF?
So a fertility clinic.
Oh shit.
So So it was obviously, either single women, single men, or like couples, obviously finding it really difficult to I guess
conceive,
become fertile. So so I was doing that for a few years as well. So, and I guess too, for myself, I ended up donating my eggs.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so I've donated my eggs twice to 2 different families, and they both have a girl each.
Oh my God, that's great.
I know. So I biologically have 2 kids out there.
That's incredible.
The first one, she like looks exactly like myself. The second one, my eggs mustn't have been as strong, so didn't get the pull through. But it's a pretty amazing feeling to know that obviously I've helped 2 families for their dreams come true.
Oh, I'll tell you this. I've known some people that have had trouble conceiving, and it's like what it does to the couple themselves, right? Especially to like it makes the man question himself as a man, the woman question herself as a woman, and just themselves like, do we deserve to have this? Which everyone, a lot of people do deserve it, and a lot of people want it, and when they can't have it like that, it is heartbreaking. So for you to be giving enough to be willing to sacrifice, what part of yourself essentially to do this, that's a great thing. That's awesome that you did that. And have you ever seen, like, are you in touch with the people still or not as much?
Yeah, so I wanted to be a known donor for the simple fact was like, if you never know what can happen in life these days.
Yeah.
So I wanted, like, if anything was to happen and they needed me, then I want them to come to me, because I will help them as much as I can. And if I ever needed them, like, I can take them in, So
Dude,
I'm close with the families. Yeah,
I'll
it's
tell
amazing.
you, this just became probably the best like rom-com kind of script idea ever, where it's like you have a model / boxer, right? At a young age, donated some eggs, right? Became a known donor. Years go by. She's now a starlet living the life. And then one day this kid shows up on her doorstep saying, "Hi, Mom," and then doing that script writes itself, huh, guys? Where we at here? Let's get this thing done already. But so, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
That's insane. But good on you that's incredible that you did that. Like, that's a very special thing. Also, too, it's amazing how you're able to accomplish this all by the age of like, what, you're 25? You know what I mean? Incredible. So let's keep. So, okay. So also
tomorrow.
26.
I know,
tomorrow,
right?
her time. But yeah. So, but okay. So you're working at this clinic. When did you get the idea of modeling? Right? Like, you had to know, like, you throw on a pair of scrubs, you're looking all right. You know what I mean? Like, that had to cross your mind. You know what I'm saying? But when did you get the idea of like, hey, I could do this,
Yeah, so you know what? It was really just for myself. So I had approached, I'd come across a female photographer here in Melbourne.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I actually liked her work. And I reached out to her and I said, look, I just want some photos like for myself, give it a go. And so anyways, I thought, okay, she booked me in and off I went, and I was so nervous. Like, and obviously I was actually young. Like, I was in my early, like, early 20s.
Okay. So last year.
And yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And I was like, okay, and we shot, and she was like, I felt really comfortable, and she was like giving me like good girl vibes.
Yeah.
And she kind of was like, Belle, like, these photos are insane. And I was like, girl, like, don't try and blow smoke up my ass, because it's okay. They're pretty basic,
Yeah.
She's like, no, honestly. So she kind of like, it was a few days went by and she just messaged me and she was like, hey, I want to submit these into a magazine. Do you think like it's possible? And I was like, oh, look, I don't think I've really got a chance, but if that's what, if you feel that that's what you want to do, then we can do that,
Yeah.
And then, I guess sure enough, then it was just like, I was in like one of our Zoo magazines. I've had calendars for many years now come out. I've been in lowrider scene magazines, so momorbike magazines. So yeah. So kind of just like adventured from there, and I was and then I was like doing shoots, like kind of like I eventuated from like, it was more, you kind of not too raunchy, but it was like the kind of the girl next door kind of vibe.
Yeah. No, you know, hey, sex sells, and hey, my mom always said, you got it, flaunt it. You know what I'm saying? So real quick, can I ask, so like you said before, you have implants, and for those that haven't, for all 12 of you that haven't checked out her Instagram page yet, which link in the description of this episode, highly suggest checking it out, but you have some really sweet ink as well. Like, you have a lot of really cool tattoos. When you took these initial pictures, did you have the implants? Did you have the tattoos already, or did that something you just acquired as you kept going?
Yeah, so excuse me, I had my implants, and then I only had, I think it was like 1 or 2 tattoos. Had no like lip filler, anything like that. I didn't have hair extensions in. So I was pretty plain Jane, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
And then I guess as the years went on, and it was so interesting because when I was younger, I was like, I disliked tattoos. I was against them. And I was like, I'm never getting tattooed, And then I got a lousy one on my foot. And then it was just like, after that, it was like so addictive. They're so addictive. It's insane.
Yeah.
But I'm no more tattoos now for me. I'm like, I think I have enough because it's like, I did want to do a leg sleeve.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, but you get older. So I'm like, at least these ones, like I can hide them. So it's like, hey, it's a surprise sometimes, like, oh, wow, she's got tattoos.
The ones up the side are cool.
Oh, they're
like
gangster.
That.
I love them.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing. I like, I like tattoos in spots where like, if you're in a shirt and a tie, nobody could ever tell.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then underneath, it's fun.
I
can also tell on your leg too, like the one's a bit older, and then the other side looks like brand new. I was like, that looks nice.
Well, I just got not recently, but a while ago, the one on my leg done, and it's actually me on there.
Is that what it was? I was looking at a picture of it. I couldn't tell what it was, and it looked like is it cards or what's on the one side?
Yeah, it is. So it's like so it's got like obviously got myself, and then it's just got like palm trees and like big cities. So it's kind of like my life. Like I've traveled, all the cities, and just like me, like like the innocent me.
That's great though.
Not about innocent, but
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, but that's badass. I mean, honestly, too, that's in though now, right? Like having tattoos and modeling, and like that's what everybody wants. You know,
it's so interesting because you do see that a lot now, and it's more like, I guess, you kind of it's unfortunate with Instagram. It's like it's like a stigma to it. It's like people will judge you based on what they actually see, but it's like, if you get to know someone, it's like people are always like, wow, you're so down to earth, you're easygoing. Because I always get, oh, wow, you're very intimidating, like, and especially like your photos. I was like, just sit down with me. It's all good. Like, I'm very open-minded. Don't judge. We've all got a story. We've all come from somewhere. So, I never do that. And I just think, people just kind of probably think, oh, she's a badass and she's intimidating, but far from it.
Matt was all nervous before the show started, and he was telling me how like scared he was, and then you came on, you were just lovely, and very bubbly.
Oh,
loosened right up.
You are. I'll tell you, that is one thing. Do not read a book by its cover. And there is some stuff, we won't get into it, but there are some things like that are online about you that really like. They don't do you justice. You are a sweetheart. You're a total sweetheart. Like,
I mean, but look, we all make mistakes in life, but again, it doesn't define us who we are.
Justin is a mistake. Ask his mom.
My numerous fathers look great. I look forward to the next fight and the next weigh-in.
Oh my gosh, everybody does.
I'm trying to pick out my lingerie for the weigh-in. Do you know how hard that is?
It's a good. You got a good thing going. It's a good gimmick because look, it's at no point are you gonna look any better when you show up. That's like the one time where you're not. Where like no female's afraid to hop on the scale or anything.
Oh yeah.
I've prepared for many weeks.
I guess because it's Nashville, I'm trying to go for like maybe even the cowgirl queen.
I was just gonna say, if you did like lingerie and cowboy boots with like a
hat, with a hat,
oh man, you'd be crushing it.
So just like, but there's a designer that has reached out and they're in Miami. So I'm like, maybe I can like collab and do something, a little bit different. Because I like to be a bit different. I think that's with myself in the aspect of like, I have certain things in mind when I want to go to like an event. So I got flown when I was in America from LA to Austin, Texas, I think it was, to go to some fights. And I just come out, it was insane. I just come out in like this like one piece of material, but it was looked like a queen vibe, and then they got me in the ring. They were like, can you be ring girl like that? And I was like,
wow.
Meanwhile, I'm wearing like my stilettos, my red soles, like trying to like hold back. The crowd was going nuts. Like it was something I'd never seen, and it was just amazing. Like I just thought, even women, like they were like, yes, girl. I was like, for me that's so important, because I think as much as like what you see on Instagram, it's like for us women, you should love your body.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what size you are, what culture you are, what skin
Yes.
color you are, women should love their body. And I think it's so important. So
Agreed.
I always try and like, I have women messaging me being like, wow, you've inspired me to do boxing, or like, it's just those simple things that I say to people, like on my socials, like I'll shout out and be like, have the day you deserve, or, I hope everyone has an amazing day, because you never know what people are going through.
Agreed.
So a simple act of kindness goes a long way. So, for when I was obviously there and just women are just like going crazy, and I was like, I'm loving this. This is amazing. Like, women should be more open and, accepting of their bodies. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Again. Yeah, exactly.
Plus, too, it shouldn't be like in a way. Previously, I think like people are more open about body issues and things like that. But in a way, maybe years ago, you would have been ostracized by females in the community, like the female community, just because out of jealousy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I think
100%.
now they see like, fuck yeah, do your thing. You're kicking ass. Like, and you've earned it. You didn't wake up day one like this. Like, this is earned. Like when you're putting in the work and doing the training and stuff like that, like, the results show. So you very much have earned it. And I think that that's more what people are saluting as well, as like, yeah, you look good, but also, good for you on earning what you got. You know what I mean? So you should be,
definitely.
That's a great thing. So, okay.
It's hard work, like I guess, a lot of women now, I guess, I've got fake implants, but like a lot of women now, like, fake, fake everything.
No,
like
for
it's
sure.
insane, like butt implants, and it's just crazy. I just think, I do work hard for it. Like I'm in the gym twice a day. Like it's hard work, but it's mentally, like you have to do it. It is what it is,
Do you do road work too?
Do I do road work?
As in that's an American term, I guess. But what you're running, right? Like your cardio?
Oh, cardio. Yeah. So I do running as well, like jump rope. I hate running, but it is what it is. But also I've started swimming lately, because apparently it opens up your lungs. Yeah. So swimming's really good for you.
Yeah. That's awesome. Nice. Man, you must
float much better.
Yeah, at the you have flotation devices. Yeah, real
yeah, good. Pretty much.
you motorboating son of a bitch. But okay, so let's keep moving. I did want to ask about this. This is something that we researched, and I was like, this looks fascinating. And it's called SAS Australia. You were on this show, correct?
Yeah, okay. I was. Yeah.
So, what's the deal? What is this show?
Jeez, it was insane. This show was insane.
Like it seems like kind of like an army, like a military survivor show kind of thing, right? I don't know.
Yeah. So you're kind of out in the middle of like nowhere, and you have these guys just telling you, what you have to do, and there's like, I guess, the first thing that we had to do was free fall out of a helicopter into like -5 degree water. Yeah. And for me, heights, I shit my pants with heights. I was like, this is crazy. But you had to do it backwards. So like I had to like hold like this, and then I just like fell into the water. And then I had to, I think it was like
first, right? But they have you like leap out. But
no, you rappelled down the rope, right?
No, so you stood on the side of the helicopter.
Okay.
And then it's just like you leant back, and then you obviously, but you had to make sure you do it the right way, because you could become paralyzed if you hit the water wrong.
Go feet first. Like, how do you?
No, she was
and
like,
my head hit the water. Like, so I was back, and then I just hit like the water. Yeah.
Like
and
when you hop back, you're kind of want to land at like an angle, but you kind of went a little more flat, and you're shit. How high off the water were you?
I don't know how high it was, but it was like fairly high. Oof. It was bad. I was like shitting my pants, and then like it's freezing cold water. It's like -degree water, so I had to like swim, and then I had to like try and change into like. So you only get given 2 pairs of clothes, a fresh set, like 2 fresh set, but like one ends up dirty, and then you have to try and keep the other one clean.
Yeah.
It was way too hard. I was like, this is next level. Plus, I had a Birkin on, so that weighed like 40 kilos on my back, and I'm wearing like steel cap boots. I was like, man, I ain't fucking designed for this. This ain't for me. It's like, no way. And then like, so we all done that, and then we got all changed, and then they made us like do some running, and then all of a sudden we're in the mud, like doing these kind of like you had to,
army
and I was
crawl,
like, this is, oh my God. And he's saying to me, he's like, you're fucking useless. I was like, I know. I was like, I don't know why I'm here.
You're like, no shit, buddy.
You're like,
Come
I
on.
know.
You
I'm
and I
like, come
agree.
on.
You're like, my shoes are heavy. Leave me alone.
I was like, this is crazy. This is not for me. And then,
oh my God.
and then what else did we do? So this was all in one day. So, and it was insane. You got very little food. So I think there was like 12 of us, and between us 12, there was like a tiny little bit of meal that you could eat. That was it. Like
just a little bit
and
of
then
Vegemite.
not even that. I think it was like old porridge. It was
Oh my
great.
gosh.
Bad. Yeah. I was like, oh. And then what do we do? And then we did like a boxing thing. So that was quite interesting. And it was just like for 2 minutes, you kind of just had to go hard, and you had numbers. So everyone had been given a number.
Yeah.
And then he would pick, who went against who.
Yeah.
And then, so
had
I did
you
that,
started boxing before this or no?
Yes.
Okay, so you were like,
nice.
you were licking your chops like, let's fucking go.
I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna fuck her up.
Yeah.
And then the one of the guys who was putting on my helmet, he was just like, you will do good in this. So I already knew that he knew a bit of background of like my boxing and stuff like that. So and it was just like 2 minutes, and you would just go ham. Like there was no stopping. You were just like, but for some women it was very confronting. Because they've never done that before or never been in that position.
People can talk a lot. Like Tyson's saying is 100% true. Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth, right? That is 100% true. You could be Johnny fucking tough nuts, but when you get in there and you get fucking smacked, it's like, are you gonna clam up? Or are you gonna kick back? And I've seen it a million times where it's like you got super athletes in there, get in there, they get popped, and then they clam up and don't know what to do. And you got some fucking Johnny Pizza Joe Schmo in there, and he's just like takes a couple slugs, but comes right back. It really is like the mental test is what it is, and you've obviously overcome that. So when you were in there, did you pieced the bitch up or what?
Yeah, like I just was like, I was just going ham. I was like, this felt so good.
Yeah.
I was loving life.
Yeah.
And then it was really hard. So we obviously had in our group, there was one like ego guy. His ego was just too much. So he was trying to like override the staff. And it was like anytime he did that, we all suffered. So like we had to tread water for like 4 minutes, and it was freezing cold, like -5 degrees. I was just like, I'm not down for this. This is nuts.
What kind of stuff? Like, what do you mean? Like, he'd be like, I'm not doing this. I'm blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Or he'll so he'll, because I guess maybe his story or his background, he's had to defend for himself. So he doesn't like what people tell him what to do. Yeah. So it was just like, just don't be a smart ass.
Yeah. Like, fuck off, dude. Yeah.
100%.
Like,
fucking
get with it, asshole. We're all dying here.
Yeah. I was like, this is crazy. And then, we kind of went back to like the place we were staying at, which was very minimal. Like they had, we had no showers, and we had like drop. Do you know what a drop box is? No. Like a toilet that's like just like a box, like one of those.
We had we've had a bunch of military guys on the show, and they talked about the drop box. It's kind of like it's like a square, it's like a 3/4 square with a hole in it, and you put that, and you kind of
yeah. And then like
well, I mean, that wouldn't matter for you because hot girls don't shit, so you're good.
No,
what I mean?
Well, that's right. I mean, I barely went to the toilet there, and if I did, it was when we were in the water. I was like, fuck this.
Everybody was doing it.
I was like, ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah. Oh, that's too funny.
100%. So, and then it was bad. I was like, we couldn't even shower. So I was just like, no, there was no showers at all. And you know what? When you had to go to the bathroom, you had to take someone with you. It was so weird.
Well,
like, so they
I
had to
guess because
stand
like
out.
animals and like if something snuck up on you while you're going to the bathroom.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I don't know. But
I don't know.
was like,
What's in that Australia? Where was it? It was in
but I
Australia,
think maybe
right?
it's like, yeah, because it was like military. Maybe that's the rule that they have.
I mean, they
I
also
don't
have that
know.
rule in prison too. So
Plus, to you always need help. Buddy
Yeah.
system.
Bad.
We had a
well,
we
buddy,
had,
that's what it was, a buddy system. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
well, lucky I wasn't there when it happened because I was like long gone. But
Yeah.
they had to change the toilet. So yeah, that was nasty.
Like
I was like not down for that. And
What,
I didn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. It was just so cold for me.
Ha-
And then like they woke us up at like 1 a.m. with like guns like
oh,
like,
screw
and then
that.
you had to be dressed, right? And even a water bottle, you had to have everything on out in the courtyard, right? And it took us all like 7 minutes. So we had to do a 7-minute beasting. It was nuts.
A 7-minute beasting?
So a beasting is like a certain position for 7 minutes. So we were in a planking position for 7 minutes.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
Anyways, obviously I started like moaning. I was like, oh. He's like, fucking shut up, number 4.
He doesn't even call your name. He's like, number 4, shut your fucking mouth, all right? That's fucking hilarious.
He didn't give a shit. I was
Yeah.
like, this motherfucker. I was like, dang. I was like,
great.
I can't. But I think I lasted like 3 days. So that's actually
pretty
good.
good. I wouldn't have lasted
Yeah.
1 day. I would have been like, fuck this. I got to shit on a
like,
box.
no.
Forget it.
Yeah.
No showers. Like
Oh.
it was just horrible. I was like,
Man.
and I don't deal well with the cold, but for me it was an experience. I was like, yeah. Why not? Like
That was my my question. For Australia, like what's the coldest it gets? You guys get snow?
Well, we get snow, but like more in like the Alps.
Yeah.
I guess
Like the
so. It
higher
doesn't really like
altitudes get snow, but
in the
like your
mountains.
average, like where you live, like what's the coldest it gets? Are you getting
sometimes like like 1 degree.
okay? So 33, 35.
Yeah.
for
So
us.
you get down to it gets pretty cold.
Yeah, it gets cold. Like our winters get like
Because
pretty
that's
cold.
the thing, like all that outdoor military style stuff, like sure, jogging and sleeping in the woods sucks, but I'm not dealing with the cold. I don't know, especially
It's
cold
just too
water.
much, and I just feel like it like to the point it gets to your bones, and it's like fuck, it's hard to keep warm. Like, how do you keep warm from that?
The worst.
And that was filmed in Jindabyne, which is New South Wales, and that was their like ski country.
Oh, so that was
like,
kind of near where you grew up, or no? Oh,
a little bit away from where obviously I grew up, but yeah, it was just like the where
But they
people
knew it was
go,
going
like,
to be
snowing.
cold. They knew the cold would be part of the challenge.
Well, see, it was interesting because this was during COVID, so I had to isolate for 2 weeks prior to going on to that show.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had a bike in my room, and that was about it for exercise wise. Yeah, so I had to isolate.
Like, you got to come in good shape, or it's going to benefit you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
big
All
time.
the people who just took the 2 weeks sitting and eating room service.
But when I finished, like I did my meniscus. I had all bruising all up my arms. My finger was dislocated. Like it was nuts. Yeah, it was crazy. I didn't break anything, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a pretty cool experience. I'm
that sounds like
obviously it's like getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So, because what do they say? You have to be uncomfortable to be comfortable. So I've been learning, obviously, that, and especially with boxing, is something that was way out of my comfort zone. Yeah. And then until I fought, because I was like, I don't know whether I'm going to like this or not, because I don't think anyone likes to be punched in the face.
You had sparred and stuff though, right?
Yeah. So I obviously like training, doing a lot of, but I was doing more training for fitness. So for me, it was just more mentally and physically good for you. Yeah. So I just started obviously doing that. And then my coach was like, you really should like get into the ring. And I was like, oh, really? Like, you're not setting me up to fail. You know what I mean? Like, some people just want to just see you get in there and think that you're going to do okay. And then you're really going to do batshit crazy and not do well
they treat
at all.
you like a meat bag. Yeah.
Pretty much. So I was like, all right, well, I'll give it a go. And I did some sparring, like quite a lot of sparring. And I was like, oh yeah, I actually don't mind this. It's like it's pretty fun, you know.
Yeah, you got your
And then
balance down, your movement. Yeah.
100%. And I guess, I've learned more, especially coming over to America. I think it's a whole different ball game compared to here. It's a lot of like discipline. And not that there's no discipline here, but I think the coaches are a lot different. And it's just like the lifestyle is like very different, which for me is good in the aspect of like it's out of sight, out of mind. Yeah. So if I'm over there, I'm not going for dinners, I'm not doing what I want to do. Right. Whereas here, I have that like, I have my girlfriend, oh, let's go for dinner. I'm like, no worries. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're in camp really when you're here. You know what I mean? And you're focused, you're locked in, which is what you need to be. How early are you coming before your April 8th fight in Nashville? How much how much earlier are you coming?
I think maybe like 6 weeks.
Oh wow! So you're gonna come. You're gonna be here pretty soon then.
Full camp there.
Yeah, you're gonna get a full camp here. Nice. And your trainer's coming with you?
No, so I'm gonna be trained by Buddy McGirt.
Holy fucking shit, Buddy McGirt!
Yeah, I know. How cool! Yeah.
Justin, do you know who Buddy McGirt? Buddy McGirt was a great fighter, and he also trained Arturo fucking Gotti.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So he's I did some training with him last time when I was in America. So he reached out to me and he said, Belle, I'd love to obviously train you. He's got a few boys I think in March, and then after like that mid-March he said he would obviously come over and finish with me.
So he'll go like to Nashville to train you because he's in New York. He's a New York guy. Man, he is.
I think it's in the UK at the moment.
Dude, listen to this. He trained Arturo Gotti, James Toney, Antonio Tarver, and Paulie Malignaggi. He's had so many fucking world champions. He's one of the best trainers of all time. He's incredible. He tells this great story about like, because he was with Gotti for the Gotti Ward trilogy, and he tells these great stories about, like, I don't know. For me, like, I boxed my dad boxed, so I've boxed my whole life, and really like the history of boxing is fascinating to me. It's because it's very, very, very cool and interesting when you look into the history of it. But wow, Buddy McGirt, I mean,
he's got so many characters.
Oh God!
Even Gotti would break his hands in like the first or second round of most of those fights, and then just plow through.
Mickey Ward popped an eardrum in the third fight, and then in the second fight he went blind. Right? It was like the 6th round. He got punched and he lost his vision. Right? And he's comes back out and he's like feeling it. And then Gotti punched him again, and the lights came back on. Yeah. How fucking nuts is that?
That's insane.
Dude, those. I mean, like, I don't know. We could talk about that shit all fucking night. But either way, did you like Danny Boy Green and stuff? Is that like who you did your?
Yeah, Danny Green, Jeff Fennick.
Yeah. There's some great Australian fighters, even back in the day. There was Anthony Mundine, Sam somebody as a Australian fighter. Sam Solomon. He had the kangaroo punch, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, I think now he's retired. He just had another fight recently, and I think,
I'm thinking of someone else then. Sorry, I'm way wrong.
Okay.
I'm totally way wrong. I was talking about a guy from like the early his name was Peter Jackson. Sorry. So he was an Australian heavyweight boxer from named Peter Jackson, who fought. So Gentleman Jim Corbett was like he was like the original Cinderella Man before Cinderella Man, right? And Peter Jackson fought Gentleman Jim Corbett it was a draw, and the fight ended after 61 rounds.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, and he was like, I mean, nuts that this, it happened in 1891. So the rules were a little different.
Different.
Yeah. But still, it's crazy to think, like, because they back then, God, they used to do, the rules were different back then. Where imagine this, Bella, imagine this. This was a rule, and I've told Justin about this. So if you heard of like Jack Dempsey and you know, John or Jack Johnson and all these guys.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So back in the day, the rule was, so I think it was 1 minute rounds, right? Or even before that, the round would end if a guy got knocked down but got back up, and then they'd stop the round, right? But the rule was you were allowed to start punching the guy as soon as his hands left the canvas, right? So if you knock the guy down and he's down on all fours, and if he gets to like his feet, as soon as his hands leave, he's still bent over. So you can legit fucking bam, like right on top. Like that was a rule. And then guys started dying, and they're like, let's change the rules a little bit. But yeah, imagine that. But the boxing we know now is a little more civilized. So
a little,
let's talk about this before, you know, I know we're coming towards the top of time, but I want to talk about this a little more. So April 8th, Nashville, we have the queen herself on display again. So what got you into boxing, right? And then when did you start training, and, you know, what do you think of the boxing game itself? Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think for me, I'd been doing boxing for about 4 years, and it was just purely for fitness, mentally, physically, I guess, because no matter what happens in life and what you've got going on, the minute I guess the pads were hitting my gloves, it was just like nothing in the world mattered. You know, as weird as this sounds, it was like my safe place. I was like, wow, like this is, you know, where you can let anything out.
Total
any
stress reliever.
What you've got going on. Exactly. Yeah.
Totally.
And it's more disciplined in that aspect. Like it makes you disciplined.
Yes.
So for me, I was like, yep, I thoroughly enjoy it. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to give it a go. I'll see how I go. If I'm either going to like it or I'm not. So there was only one way to do it, and it was just to get into the ring. So I was like, I guess, you know, I was like, yep, all right, sign me up. I'm a crazy motherfucker. Let's do this, you know.
But also, like, it takes some self-belief, right? And you know, too, like, hey, you're in, like, you've been doing the work. I don't know. I've trained a million people, right? And eventually it gets to a point where, like, hey, you're ready. You need to either shit or get off the pot, because it's time to step in and throw some fucking leather, or it's time to just be, hey, if you're just going to chill and you just want to do it for fitness, that's fine. But you're going to get to a point where you're going to want to test your mettle. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So you get to the point where you want to test your mettle, you get in there. What's your first sparring session like?
Yeah, so first sparring, like I was shitting my pants, won't lie. Like I was like, I don't know.
So heights
I was
and
like,
sparring matches.
Yeah, I was just like, wow, like what do I do? Like what happens if like she knocks me out? Like, you know, all these kind of things go through your head. And I was like, shit, crazy, you know? So I was like, oh, well, it is what it is. And I just have to get in there and do it. And look, I did okay for my first like sparring session, but it was more controlled as well, so which was great.
Right.
So yeah, and then it was just so it was, I was just like, yeah, this is fine. And it was more learning too. Like I'm learning things, and also too having to learn to listen to my coach, because obviously there's going to be so much background noise that I'm like, shit, am I going to be able to hear him? So I need to listen to what is going on, but also try and make my own decisions based upon what I've learned as well, which was the very basics. But that was, you know, that's what happens in a first fight. Like you learn, you don't need to learn to, you know, be doing all these combinations. You know, they're not really going to help you first fight. 16-ounce gloves, headgear. You ain't knocking no one out.
Well, plus too, like, I'll say this, very common. Everyone's number one fear is getting knocked out, right? Like everyone thinks they're going to get knocked out, which it's like, bro, trust me. It's like, you got pillows on your hands and you got headgear on. Like you're going to be okay.
You ain't going anywhere.
Right. And then, you know, the other thing too, and this is tough to get across to people, is that we have a saying where it's like, if you have to think about it, it's too late, right? Like you can plan, right? You can plan like, I'm going to do this if this happens and this, But if you're in there and something happens and you're like, oh shit, do I do this? You have to be able to react. It has to be reaction. Your body has to react naturally. So when you went in there for the first time, did you kind of feel that where it's like, I'm reacting to this, like I'm trusting my instincts and I'm trusting like my body to do what it's supposed to? Like, did you get that at all?
Yeah, so when I was in there, it was so interesting because I just went in for the kill straight away. I was
guns
just like,
blazing.
I just went straight in and just got her in a corner and just kept going and going and going because I was just like, I don't know what she was going to do. I didn't know whether she was going to come out swinging. You don't know, so you just have to kind of, I guess, try and decide what you're going to do first. So if I was just like, I'm just going to get on the front foot, but I think I did quite well and was like a good judge of certain things. I guess, for me, it's like a learning curve too with like my hands up, One thing for me, I train in 8-ounce gloves and I was obviously sparring in 16-ounce, but it's like, because I train in 8-ounce gloves, I forgot what it was going to feel like fighting in 16s and they're so heavy.
Yeah.
So I was just like between my tits and my hands, trying to hold everything up. It was like, that's a hard gig.
Oh, for sure.
Because I was so scared too. Like, just thinking, what happens if I got a slip knee or, anything like that? You just don't know. I was like, oh, well, but it was like me. I guess I forgot. So I wore gladiators, but I forgot the booty shorts underneath. So I only wore a G-string to the venue. So I was just like, oh, well, it is what it is.
It is what it is. It's going to be fun.
Shit was going everywhere, but they all loved it. So I was like, all right, it's a vibe. It's
you're the fucking toast of the gym. Don't get it twisted. If I've been at, I don't know how many times I've complained at the gym, like, we got to do stuff to get more women in here, but when a chick walks in, there'd be a 6 that walked in and automatically she's a 9 just because we've been staring at fucking dudes all day. But a true fucking dime walks in like you and they're just like, oh, you're the fucking toast of the town. Everybody's loving you. So I'm sure.
Too, it's also a good feeling. Like when I went into a few like the Wildcard gym, I trained Freddie Roach's gym.
Shit.
They're absolutely amazing there. Like I've made a good rapport with like Sam. He's one of the trainers there, and I met Freddie. That was insane. So it was amazing, and they're so friendly there. So you actually genuinely feel like you're one of the boys anyway. Yeah. And there was like another gym I went to as well. I think it was called Blue Moon Boxing, and that's where Buddy was. And they're all like family, Yeah. I mean, I don't know if
they're
pretty calls your baby girl, but I'm like I'm down for this.
For sure. Next time you're in LA, you gotta look up Badlands. It's there's a Philly fighter. His name is Gabriel Rosado, and he has a gym out there called Badlands. He's the fucking man. Yeah, he's like, we're big fans of him.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, Oh, I might have to visit. Yeah, definitely.
I bet he'd love to have you. So okay. So let's talk about this then. So you're training, like you're sparring, you're feeling it. How did this fight come up? And then how was preparing for it? And then how was it? So go ahead. How did it come up?
Yeah. So it was more, so there's a gym here called Team Alice. Okay. And they originated from, I think it was their father, Lester Alice, who was an Australian boxer. Okay. And so they're very family orientated. I think there's 3 or 4 boys. And so they obviously own this gym, and they do a lot of pretender to contender fights. So it's more like influencers or celebrities, cool. Whatever you want to call them. Yeah, so they do a lot of those, a couple each year. And they, I guess, approached me and said, hey, we've got a fight night coming up. Would you be interested? And I was like, yeah, perfect. So I guess I signed up to that, and they matched me with I think it was another influencer. So, and then I just thought, you know what, I had the opportunity to obviously, I know Jeff Fennick, so he set me up with a few people over in America. So I did my camp over there in Wildcard gym. Very nice. Just did my whole camp there, worked my ass off, and just learnt a lot as well, which was amazing. And I guess too, it was just that ritual of getting up every morning, going for my 14-kilometer run. I don't know what it is in miles, but a 14-kilometer run, and then go to the gym for 2 hours, have lunch, go back to the gym for another 2 hours, do some recovery, dinner and bed. So that was on repeat for like 6 weeks.
Wow.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was good. Mentally good. Like I was in a really good place. Like it's insane. But the sacrifice that you have to do too, like for me, it's I was still like talk to my family and friends, but it's like for me, I'm focusing on one thing. And it's like because with boxing, if you can be physically fit, you can, be anything. But if you're mentally not right, then there's no point in doing it whatsoever.
100% agree.
So, yeah. So I guess, I did my camp over there and my flight was delayed coming back. So I actually missed the press conference here. Yeah, but hey, who misses a press conference and still gets like media outlets? Like they're all loving me.
you were the press, especially at that weigh-in. Oh baby, they were
the weigh-in was something else. And you know what? My opponent, she talked like shit for 8 weeks, and I didn't say anything. And she's like, she's putting on social media, oh, my opponent's gone to America, and and then she was like, oh, she's not here at the press conference. Is she really at the airport? Things like that. And then when I went in there with my Balenciaga, all dripped in. And I was just like, I took that shit off and she was like dying. And then I come face to face with her and I was like, make sure you bring your mouth guard, and I was just like giving her ham. And then, I was like, once that was done, that was the nerve wracking thing too, I guess, because my flight was delayed and I came back a week before. So weight wise, I still had 2 kilos to lose because man, I went to Disneyland and ate too many fucking corn dogs. That shit is not cool. That shit is not cool. I was like,
hot dogs on the stick will get you every time.
Every fucking time.
Yeah, and how's about your street tacos? Dang.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, you are on the West Coast, so yeah.
Oh my God. I was like, this is next level. So anyway, so I had 2 kilos to lose. So that Friday morning before weigh-in was at like 2:00 in the afternoon. I'm like sweating my ass off, like dying in a sauna suit. In the sauna. I had someone with me just in case like I passed out. And I obviously had to hit a certain weight.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, these corn dogs have got me good. Like, this is like, I was like,
the corn dogs will always get you.
Oh, yeah, bad. But yeah, made weight, which was amazing. And then, the next night, it was obviously fight night. So I was really nervous. I guess, you're not human if you're not.
Of course.
So, so many things kind of go through your head. And then, I'd sold how many? I think it was 10 3-grand tables. So I had over 100 people there.
Wow.
Which was insane. Like it was amazing. The amount of
the whole crowd
that I had.
was yours. Are you kidding?
Right. Yeah. It was like, I mean, I wasn't the main card, but I feel like I was the main card. Like,
fuck yeah.
Yeah. It was.
If you
crazy.
got the most people showing up for you, you are the main event, and that's the fucking bottom line. I don't want to hear it. I've been to a million of those. That's the case. Fight. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like for first fight. So it's like, and it's really good that I've been over in America and now going to fight over there because I have built that somewhat of a small fan base.
Yeah.
And, just continuing to grow, that's what I want. So, and then obviously, I've come out on a throne. That was insane.
Yeah.
And then backed it out and had a win that night. So I knocked her mouth guard out. Like it was crazy.
Oh, that's great.
Made me feel good about myself.
I'll tell you, that's a feeling that's tough to duplicate. Getting the hand raised. It's a tough after a win. That's a tough feeling to duplicate. If you could bottle that up, you'd be a billionaire. I'll tell you.
But it was more like, I came with the entertainment. I came with the weigh in. So now it was like an intuition that like I have to come through with a win now. I'm like, I can't lose right now.
Yeah. You got to back it up.
The story has to end this way.
Yeah.
Exactly, 100%. But I love it. I do enjoy it, and it is a challenge. But I'm always up for a challenge. I mean, I've been through worse shit in life.
For sure.
So through a few punches in the face, what's that going to be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As
long as I don't break my nose, then it's always sweet.
It's all right. So, man, Bella, I'll tell you, we were looking forward to this, but you're fucking awesome, and one of the things, and I think Justin will agree with me, is that when, like you said, looking at you, but judging the book by its cover, you don't realize like you're just a nice, sweet, genuine person that's a hustler, and you're getting after it. And I'll tell you, I'm so happy for you, and I'm so excited for you on April 8th in Nashville for your big fight. Hopefully we can come down and watch it in person. That would be great. But I mean, Bella, I know me and Justin are usually on the same page with this, but we would love to have you back on the show if you'd be willing to come back on.
Yeah, definitely. It's been amazing. And I appreciate you guys so much, obviously, for having me and following me as well. So it's, your support is very grateful. Thank you.
You make it. I'll tell you,
you're a top female fighter on the show. We'll be promoting you going forward, and we look forward to your next promotion.
But I'll tell you, you know, we like Instagram or we'll say influencers in general get a stigma, right? Like there's a stigma that goes along with it, like ditzy and, you know, this and that and whatever. But you really are like a credit to that type of profession because you're very sharp. You're very well spoken. You're obviously a hard worker and take care of yourself. So you should be very proud of what you've been able to accomplish and the things you're going to continue to accomplish. And honestly, we're excited to be along for the ride because this is going to be a blast. So yeah. So thank you again for being on. But before we get out of here, is there anything you'd want to say to the Bella faithful, the Bella maniacs, the Arabella Nation before we take off?
No, I want everyone to kind of jump on board. I'm here for it. Follow me on Instagram, Little Bellsy. There's always so many hot tips that I'm giving out. And just follow my journey because, you know, without you guys, I wouldn't be here. So I really appreciate every one of you. So get on board.
You're the best. So, Justin, anything you want to say to jdub Nation and the Australian fan base?
Let's go. Let's stay undefeated. We're going 2-0. Rooting for you. Birds are going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So Busso is going to go 2-0.
Hey, you guys have Tony Harrison fighting out here. Tim Zoo in March.
Oh no shit! I didn't know that. Wow, damn.
Yeah. There you go.
I should have known that.
Keep the record sheet clean.
Yeah. Well, speaking of keeping the record sheet clean, this has been another episode of the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied today by jdub, Justin Richardson, and our guest today was the incredible, the amazing, the vivacious, the talented, the vicious Arabella Del Busso. And in case you're wondering, you can find all our stuff and all our content on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can also on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast. And you can join us on the Twitter and the TikTok, the Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workperspectives@gmail.com. And please like, subscribe so we keep bringing you this sweet, sweet content. Thanks for listening. Stick around for the ad read. Thanks. See you. Do you have a message or a story inside of you that you've been waiting to tell? Have you always dreamed of writing a book but are intimidated by the complexities of the book publishing world? Perhaps you want to use a book to launch your public speaking or consulting career. If so, please reach out to Scott and Bell Publishing, located right here in beautiful Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Scott and Bell Publishing handle all genres and authors with all experience levels. Scott & Bell Publishing gives authors 100% creative freedom and a higher royalty split. They can be found at www.skotbell.com. That's www.s as in Sam, K as in Kite, O as in October, T as in Tom, B as in Boy, E as in Edward, L as in Larry, L as in Larry.com. That's Scott & Bell Publishing, where the authors go.